Hey everyone, I am Jessica from Willow Vines Intuitive Vibes, and I am here to do, I don't know if it's a collective message or what the hell it is exactly, because this is, I don't know, I can't sleep. I can't sleep to save my life right now, and I just keep reeling with information, past information, and just a lot of stuff. And what's weird too is I'm just like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep until I fucking say something. So I'm going to. And the second I opened my phone, it was 11:11 p.m. by the way. And I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do this. I guess I'm gonna do this. It's a sign. You're on the right track is usually what that stands for if we're not talking about like connections and stuff, twin flame shit. And I was, I don't even know how it happened, but I was prompted to look back on a couple things, like in my spiritual books that I wrote a bunch of shit down. I mean, I have so many books, it's not even funny. And I've written notes everywhere. And it's really weird because, okay, this is how it started. So, and then I'll tell you what I got led to and whatever. And I don't really know why I was led to this information in the first fucking place, but I feel like I have to say something. So I'm going to. But anyways, I was talking earlier today because I did a reading this morning or this afternoon. I think it was like 1:45. It's uploaded, but I haven't shared it yet. And because I don't know what to name it. It's not because there's anything bad in it. But anyways, I was talking about past information and something else. I don't fucking remember the reading. But, I was drawn to go back over a few things. Oh, in that reading, I was talking about songs and music being very significant, certain songs. And one page that I found, which I can't fucking remember, I'm gonna have to go look again. I looked and I was like, songs. What? I wrote down songs. One of them was Black Velvet, one of them was Runaway Train, and I don't remember the other song. There was another song. There's 3 songs that I wrote down in my notes, and I was like, okay, well, what the fuck? What was that about, Because I just wrote down the song names. I just wrote songs and the names. And there was channel messages and shit. And then I'm flipping through like the pages and whatever, because I remember saying that in the reading this morning, and I was just like, oh, I came across some songs. And I looked through some songs that I wrote, which is what I mentioned in the reading, and there's a couple that, I don't know, maybe, that stood out to me, like the title, and then I just kind of went through it, but it didn't really feel that significant, at least right now. But when I was going through the spiritual books, I was like, oh, songs, okay. And then I flipped, I think it was, yeah. And then I flipped the next page, and it freaked me the fuck out because I kept seeing the word rot, and I kept thinking rot ride, and I was just like, why am I thinking of Abraham Lincoln? Because I did a reading, like, I can't remember when it was. It wasn't last year, so it must have been in 22, maybe 21, 22, around there, when I had channeled Abraham Lincoln's death and his wife's as well, which we're coming up on that now. And it's really fucking weird because I didn't talk about this in any readings recently or anything, but all day today, it's weird how spirit draws me to shit. I'm just saying. But anyways, I said, I said in the fucking reading this morning, okay, I did say it in this reading, that I sat down and I was like, what the fuck? I feel like I got, in the head, but I felt it on this side where my birthmark is. Over here is when I said it. But I was like, that's weird, I don't know what the hell that's about. And he didn't get shot there. It was in the back. But regardless, throughout the entire fucking day, okay, I have been having pains, shooting pain, and weird fucked up shit with my right eye, okay? And sinus. It's weird because I feel like my face is fucking numb on one side. And it's not constant. It's just like my eye, like I will literally feel like the stabbing pain in my eye that comes on out of nowhere. And it'll be all watery. And I'll feel like sinus pressure just right here. Almost like I got fucking popped in the face really hard. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I couldn't pinpoint it at all because I wasn't thinking of him, Abraham Lincoln. I wasn't thinking of fucking anything like that. Like, I was just like, maybe it's my sinuses. Do you know how much Advil I've taken today? And it would come and go, and I'm just like, what the fuck? It's happening right now again as I'm speaking. And it was really ticking me off, and I'm just like, well, when I flipped a fucking page, I remember this reading too. I had done a channel message on him because it was coming to me, it was a couple of years ago, I think it was, 2-3 years ago. His, like, how he passed, I could feel it. And I was very sucked into his energy. Like, I wanted to watch everything on him, and I was just like, which there's a significance there, especially when it comes to the United States and politics and, not dying in vain, basically, I'm not going to get into politics and dive into the bullshit in this fucking country because that's not what this is about. But I feel like that's kind of part of it. Maybe that's why I'm feeling this, because it is an election year. It really is. But regardless of that, I was feeling it and wasn't thinking of him at all. And I was just thinking, what the fuck is going on with me? Like I took Allegra. I did all the, like, my sinuses shouldn't be the way they are. Like, what the fuck's going on with my eye? I can't fucking see out of it. And that was happening. Like, my vision was going fucked up, and I'm just kind of like, what the hell? And I know my son has an issue with an eye, but it's the opposite fucking eye. And I was like, it ain't him. I know it's not him. Like, he doesn't deal with this. Like, I felt like my face was numb. Like, I'm just like, I just wanted to be like this. And I couldn't figure it out. And then it stopped. And then I got this god awful fucking migraine from hell. And I do not get migraines. I never have. I think I've had one once in my lifetime, and that was back when my son was little. I think it was even before my daughter was born, or maybe she was a baby. You know what I mean? Like, it was a long time ago, because my daughter's almost 18 and my son's almost 20. So I don't deal with them. And I'm just like, why the hell does my head hurt so bad? Like, oh my God. And, like, it didn't feel like a sinus headache. It was just this, it came out of nowhere, and it was the worst headache ever. It was a fucking migraine, and I'm just like, I'm not stressed. I'm not I'm not dehydrated. I mean, I was fucking with my electrolytes and water and all kinds of shit all day today because I was just like, what the fuck is going on in my head? And I kept getting the chills, like, in random spots. Not like when you're sick, when you're like, whew, the chills. No, it'd be like, oh, my arm. Oh, my leg. Oh, the side of my face. Like, it's spiritual, basically. And I'm just like, all right, well, this isn't me. Make it fucking stop. Like, why the fuck is it happening? Because I can't figure it out. And I didn't know who or what or why any of it was going on until I looked back on a few things, and I looked in my spiritual books where I had written down my channel messages from the video I did a few years ago about Abraham Lincoln and his wife, Mary Todd. Oh, there's an orb. And with Abraham Lincoln, it's known fact. Look it up. I don't remember where he got shot. I know it was in the back of the head somewhere. But anyways, like, I don't know the deets because I don't remember. And I know I've looked it up at one point, but I I can't remember right this second. But I do remember that when I was looking through my channel messages, I was like, oh yeah, he had complained about pain in his right eye when he was still alive, because he didn't die instantly when he got shot. And I don't know if he had vision loss or anything like that, but I know that there was pain, and like the pain and the numbness and shit that I was feeling would have been very similar to what he went through. But I didn't feel anything in the back of my head. I mean, my shoulders and shit were hurting, like all, well, yeah, it was. The back of my head and my shoulders, I was just kind of like, why is this hurting? But that was very temporary and happened really quick. Like, the pain happened quick, and then this fucking lingered. I don't know. It just did today. And I just couldn't figure it out until I looked in the book, and I was like, oh, it reminded me of him. But why? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I was going, okay, why? And then the migraine thing was his wife, Mary Todd. She dealt with severe migraines and depression, and grief. You know, she was just, her life was not the best. You know, she dealt with a lot. And she did deal with migraines, and she stroked out. I think that's how she fucking died. I think she had a stroke. And I'm not even shitting you. Today, with the migraines and the numbness, because the eye thing, when that first came in, it was just right here. Like I got punched in the face. It was just this. And then the migraine, like it went away. And then the migraine thing, I was like, I got a headache from hell. Oh my God. Like I can't feel my fucking face. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, am I gonna die? Am I gonna stroke out? Those are thoughts in my head. Like, am I having a stroke right now? Am I having an aneurysm? Like, those were the thoughts in my head. I didn't tell anyone because I'm like, if I am, I guess it's gonna be a surprise for everyone else, because I I don't know. Like, but I've literally felt it all day. And then when I read the notes, like I said, I moved down from Abraham Lincoln to his wife, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, migraine. She died of a fucking stroke at her sister's house. And I was like, huh, that is really weird that I'm feeling that now. And then I looked at the date. Well, yeah, Abraham Lincoln, I think he passed away in like April of 1800 something. I can't remember the date. 16th. Was it April 16th or 13th? I think it's the 16th. But regardless, don't hold me to that crap. But Mary Todd, no, it might have been the April 13th or April. It was April something. He passed away in April. And she died years later. But she died July 16th of 18 something. I can't remember the year. I have it written down, and I'm not going to dig out the book right this second, because that's not the point here. But it's weird because I'm 10 days away from her death date. And when I did that reading a few years ago about them, when it first hit me, those symptoms and signs and stuff, was it 4 years ago? If it was, it would have been an election year that year too, wouldn't it have been? God, I'm going to have to look back at readings, because when the fuck did I do that reading? Was it after an election year? I can't remember when the hell I did it. I don't remember if it was 2020 or if it was after that. That's food for thought. I'm going to have to figure that out, because if it's on an election year, that makes some fucked, I don't know, that connects some shit, just saying, because I did mention that. But okay, the only thing I'm attributing it to right this second, until I look deeper into this, because obviously I'm gonna have to, because it feels significant for some reason. It just does. But anyways, I was drawn to look in the fucking books, and I was feeling like shit, and then I saw that, and I was like, oh my God, well, that explains it. And when I flipped the page after that, I had written down a bunch of stuff, but there was some stuff I wrote in blue. Blue is significant, the color blue, and I said that a few days ago. I think it was in a reading, because I talk about colors. Does you fucking know what the colors mean 90% of the time? But maybe it has to do with ink, pen colors, red, blue, pink, whatever fucking color you're writing in. But I wrote, like, the messages were in black. Like, I wrote everything in black, except there was a couple in blue. And the ones that stood out to me were about someone I know who is passed away. And at the time, he was alive. This person was alive at the time. I wrote it in, it was December 2nd, 2020, when I wrote the blue. Oh, it must have been in 2020 when I did the Abraham Lincoln thing then. Yeah, that was a fucking election year. Huh. That's fucking weird. Ironic? Coincidence? Who knows? But anyways, I'm not diving into that. It was just, yeah, so anyways, I wrote this message, December 2nd, 2020, and I wrote down the person's, I'm going to cry thinking about it. I wrote down the person's name, and then I wrote down staring down the barrel of a 45 shot, like dash shot. And I didn't know what it meant. I really didn't. And at the time, because of the relationship with that person, like how I know that person, and all the energy and shit that was going on, I wasn't really sure what the fuck it meant. It was kind of scary to me, and I was like, does that mean that I'm gonna get shot? Because that's how I felt. I felt at the time. I remember going, this person's out to get me. Like, that's what I was thinking. And I never told anyone that, but I remember, like, looking at it, I remember that's what I was thinking, because I was trying to figure out who the fuck was trying to get me. I was like, who the hell's out to get me? Who the hell wants to know this? Who's after me? Like, that's what I was thinking, and I kind of feel like maybe that's how that person was thinking at the time, and giving the lifestyle and everything, the circumstances at the time, that would make a lot of sense. The paranoia, not coming from me, but feeling like it's me, because when I channel energies, whether you're alive or dead, if you're in that energy, I'm going to feel it. And if I'm picking up on you, I'm going to be like, I'm going to act like you. And that's what I was thinking when that message came through, and it was a channel message, and I was paranoid as a motherfucker. Like, is it you? Is it you? Like, what's your fucking motive? I don't know. That's just what I was thinking. And I remember that when I was rereading it, I'm going, yeah, I did not see that correctly, that's for sure. But I did see it correctly. I just didn't interpret it correctly, because I was thinking of it from Jessica's perspective, not from said person's perspective. I was going, like, oh my God, this person, the name that I wrote down is the one who's out to get me. And that wasn't it at all. It wasn't. That's what that person was thinking, and I was picking up on it. And I only know this because October 19th, 2022, he was murdered. It was phoned in to the police as a robbery, which I was paranoid of that too at the time, which is really fucked up. I really was. Like, I was like, thinking people were going to break into my fucking house. And before 2022, like, it was within that 2-year span, I was like paranoid about that shit. I wrote it down. I spoke about it on here. Go back, you'll see the videos. I'm just saying, because it's public. Like, I shared those public readings because I didn't know who it was for, what it was about, but it was freaking me the fuck out. And I never really connected the dots, because, okay, he was murdered on, like I said, on October 19th, 2022, and it was called in as a robbery, and then, it just went south, basically. But I didn't know at the time. I had no clue that that had even happened because I wasn't talking to that person. Oh my god. The back of my head is fucking killing me. My ears are ringing too, like a loud noise. But I wasn't talking to him at the time, and I had no clue that he died, that that even happened, because I don't watch the news, I don't read the papers, I don't do any of that shit. And tonight, well, I think it was, okay, we're in 2024, so it was last year, the beginning of last year, when someone told me that he was dead. No, it was my sister. My sister told me. Oh, I thought he got shot or something like that. And I was like, what? I was like, huh? No fucking way. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, huh? So I Googled it. I'm like, no, it wasn't her that told, it might have been. I don't remember who the fuck told me, but someone told me. And I didn't believe it. I was like, there's no way. And I looked it up online, and sure as shit, there it was. And I was like, oh my god, he's dead. He's fucking dead. Like, holy shit. Holy shit, you know? That's what I was thinking when I found out. I never looked into it. I never dove deeper. I just confirmed what the quote unquote rumor was, what someone told me, because I fact check shit, you know? If someone's going to tell me something, I'll look into it. And if it can be backed up, great, you know, because I don't take everything at face value. You know what I mean? Especially when people tell me things, because I've heard rumors out the ass before about certain people being dead and then whoop, they're alive. You know what I mean? Like, there's misinformation out there. So I just wanted to make sure, and sure shit, that was true. And I was like, well, that's, you know, that sucks, is what I thought. You know, because I cared about that person to a certain extent, but, you know, when you live a certain lifestyle, that's kind of the risk. It's a risk that comes with it, is all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that. And I didn't want to be part of that, which is why I hadn't spoken to that person and had no clue what happened. But, and then I just kind of let it go. And then tonight, when I was flipping through the pages, and I saw, like, it's almost, I don't know if he's drawing me towards it. I feel like he kind of is, but regardless, it was just so weird that I was feeling the feelings that I felt prior about the Abraham Lincoln stuff and his wife. And that's all stuff I saw and I read about. I was talking about songs that I wrote in my notes and shit like that. They were literal notes in a notebook. It's like what I said this morning just kind of unfolded in the fucking pages in my book. And it led me right to the fact that I wrote down his fucking name. His name. And who he was with at the time. And that he got shot. And I wrote it 2 years before it fucking happened. I just didn't see it in the right way. But I wrote it down that way. Like, how fucked up is that? I'm just saying, like, it's... Sometimes messages are hard to understand, especially when you don't have a focus. Like, who the fuck is this for? What the fuck is this about? Or, for example, like with your intuition, like with what I do, when I pick up on other people, I literally feel like you. So if I'm in your energy and you're sad, I'm going to get sad. If you're mad, I'm going to get mad. If you're paranoid, I'm going to get paranoid. If you have PTSD, it's going to fucking show up. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm channeling you, if I'm tapped in, and if I don't know that I'm doing it, I don't know where the fuck it's coming from. And it feels like me. So the sensations that I feel like it's happening to me. Like I've said before, for another example, like my father's fucking chest pains and crap that he was dealing with back when I saw him, it was starting before I saw him, and then I realized that's where it was coming from, because him and I was feeling what he was feeling at the same fucking time that he was feeling it. And I was like, oh, that's you. And it was like a blessing in disguise that I felt led to even go there. And I feel like part of the reason that I even saw him during that time was not only to give him a heads up on, get your shit checked out, and he did, and I've explained that before. It wasn't just about that, it was also for me to understand that those sensations that I feel, those feelings that I feel, aren't always me. 90% of the time they aren't, because I thought I was dying of a fucking heart attack. I really did. I was like, I think it's me. I'm gonna fucking die. Like, because I could literally feel it. But I would, I have outstanding hospital bills to prove this too, just saying. I would literally go to the hospital for this shit, and nothing. Not a goddamn thing. They ran all kinds of fucking tests on my ass, and you're healthy. You're healthy. You're good. My light just got brighter. And I'm just like, then what the fuck is wrong with me? That shit will drive you insane if you don't understand where it's coming from or why it's happening. And now when I get those pains and stuff, or weird fucking shit happens, like health related stuff, I sit back and go, all right, why am I feeling this way? Is it me? And if it's not me, I'll hear no. Literally, I'll hear it in my head, or it will just stop. And then it might come back, because if it comes back, I need to pay attention, because it's for someone around me, or I need to deliver a message or something. But it can be painful, it can be confusing, it can be scary, and I have literally confused those sensations and feelings and emotions and all kinds of shit for myself. And I didn't even understand why. Like, why the fuck am I thinking this way? Why the fuck am I feeling this? Like, I've gone to the ER a lot when I didn't need to. Like, at all. I'm healthy as an ox. I'm just saying, I am healthy. I'm A-okay. But anyways, because I'm not dying anytime soon. I'm gonna live for fucking ever. I really am. I promise y'all that. I want to be the oldest lady ever, so that I can instill wisdom on the youth who have gone completely retarded by the time I'm that old. Because I'm telling you, each generation gets a little dumber and dumber because the school system sucks, but we're not going to get into that. We're just, minus the school system, it's just people don't instill wisdom on their children anymore. They just don't. And it really ticks me off. Not everyone, a lot of you probably do, because we're on like the same little wavelength, but there's a lot of people that don't. And it's sad. It's fucking sad, but we're just not going to go there. But then again, if the ignorant are raising the ignorant, that's what you're going to know, right? Because if you're ignorant to something, you ain't going to know to teach it. And ain't isn't a word, even though I just used it, and it shouldn't be in the fucking dictionary. And a lot of people need to learn grammar and punctuation, just saying. Because there's so many memes that I see on fucking Facebook that I'm like, oh, haha, that's funny, if it was spelt correctly, or if you use a proper fucking punctuation, and I won't share it because it doesn't make any fucking sense, because you have to reread it 3 fucking times because the comma's in the wrong fucking place, or there's no punctuation at all, or they spell phone F-O-N. Like, what the fuck? But anyways, I'm going on a little rant there. We don't need to worry about that right this second. But yeah, I was drawn to that, and that was fucking insane. That connection, because I was going, when the hell did he die? And I Googled it again tonight, and I was like, oh my God, I wrote this 2 years before it happened. I even drew a picture of a gun, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, I did. It's just weird when that stuff happens. Like, I know that I talk about spiritual signs and the things that I sense and feel all the time, and I do that for a reason. I don't do it to prove myself. I do it to show you guys, because I know there's people out there who watch me. You know who you are, who get these feelings, who who feel a certain way at certain times when you're just like, why am I feeling this way? Like, what the fuck is this even about? Like, oh my God, I'm gonna die young, or, whatever. You're probably gifted, especially if you have no health issues. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just comes out of fucking left field. You wake up out of a dead sleep and you're going, oh my God. And it's not because you had a nightmare or you had the sleep paralysis or whatever. I'm telling you, there's so much more to it, which is why there's so much that we don't understand as humans. And that's why I explain my experiences. It's not for clout. It's not for money. It's not for attention. It's not for, oh, Jessica's always right. No, because I'm not. There's shit that I wrote down in that book that hasn't come to fruition, that hasn't happened, that didn't happen. Doesn't mean that people weren't thinking it, plotting, planning, that it couldn't have happened. But, there's shit that's like, oh my God, right on the money. And then some stuff like, either not the time or it didn't happen kind of thing. It is what it is. It's okay to be wrong. It really is. Because we're going to be wrong a lot. Whether you're psychic or not. With your intuition or not. Yeah, you could be wrong. But you should trust yourself. And the one thing I do want to say about that person's energy, when I wrote their name down at the time, because I do remember this, when I was feeling paranoid and thinking that person was out to get me, I feel like that was divine intervention, stepping in to scare me away from said person so that I wouldn't even be anywhere near the situation. And I wasn't, because I didn't even know it fucking happened when it did. Yeah, I wrote it down, so I knew ahead of time, but I was shown in a way that made me stay away, to the point when a few months before it even happened, he messaged me. That same person contacted me, and I didn't respond until after he died. It's weird because I was like, no. And then I waited, and then I did a reading is what it was. Just a public reading. And I think I put it on Patreon at the time. And it reminded me of people that he knows and stuff. So it was kind of like a heads up reading, like, hey, there's a problem here. And I sent it to him, and he never opened it. And I was like, oh, he blocked me. Or he doesn't want to talk, whatever. And that's what I chalked it up to. No, he was dead. So I think my warning came a little too late, apparently. But, yeah, there was a reading I sent him. I don't remember what it was about, but I do remember it was not a pleasant one. And it was months after he reached out to me. And it never got read. It was never read. And I know why now. Or, a year later or something. Whenever the fuck it was. I don't remember how long it was after the fact that I found out. But I was like, that explains why I never opened it. Just saying. I don't know. I think the reason why I'm saying this publicly is so that you guys listen to yourselves. I just looked at that at 3333, but now it's beyond that. It's just so that you listen to yourselves when you get certain feelings, certain warnings, because just because you don't know an outcome, just because you don't see it with your own goddamn eyes, doesn't mean it's not real. Doesn't mean it's not happening. It could mean that you avoided it, or that's happening around you and you just didn't find out yet. So really trust yourselves. I'm not saying get scared and be paranoid. No, that's just the energy I was feeling, because I feel like it was his energy. Because like I said, lifestyle and whatever, sometimes that can make you think in that way. And if you're doing certain things and whatever too, that can happen too. Which is also brings me to the reading I did this morning, where I don't like talking about this shit, but I'm just gonna. It is what it is. I don't know. It just made me feel all nervous all of a sudden. Where I mentioned the meth mites and stuff, the creepy crawlies, which you guys probably don't know yet. Maybe you will. I don't know when I'm gonna post that one or not, and if you did see it or not. I'm wearing. I think it's my. Oh, I'm wearing the same fucking shirt. Yeah, I'm wearing the same shirt. But I mentioned that, like, someone could have done something like that, you know, maybe substance use or whatever, and that's something that he dabbled with, which makes you paranoid as a motherfucker, just saying. There could be someone, you know, in current energy who is dealing with that same substance or something similar that makes you just as like, hey, you know, oh my god, that kind of shit, you know. Because I started this reading saying I couldn't sleep. I just realized that I can't sleep. I can't sleep. Is somebody fucking around with that shit? Because if they are, that's where paranoia and crap will come in, I'm just gonna say, but you can drug test me right now. I'm not doing shit. But maybe someone's gonna say that. But yeah, it's just weird that I mentioned that in today's reading, and I'm in here talking about that specific person who passed away who actually dealt with that stuff. So that would make a lot of sense with paranoia shit, I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't like tapping into people who do crap. I really don't. Because I've talked about this before during that crazy energy, which is what I was thinking when I was even going through my books. I'm like, people are going to think I'm fucking crazy, or, you know, I don't know. Those thoughts were coming in my head, and I was looking at the chair over there in my room, and the sweatshirt that I wore when I went to the loony bin, when I got fucking sent there during that time, is folded up in that chair, which is kind of ironic because that chair my grandmother gave me, and her husband, which is my grandfather, he's not like blood related to me, but he's a grampy I've known my whole life, passed away of lung cancer, and that was their chair. That's gonna make me cry. And my crazy sweatshirt sitting in that chair, and I was just staring at it. I'm like, the craziness is in the middle of everything, is what I was thinking. But I feel like that's why those thoughts were coming in my head, the your crazy thoughts or whatever, is because of that sweatshirt, because that's what the energy was at that time. Because that's what I wore during that time. But I was bombarded by so much energy from the living and the dead, and I didn't fucking understand a goddamn thing. I really didn't, and that is the truth, because it was just way too much all at once. I'm understanding some of it now, but there's some of it I'm never going to understand because it ain't for me and has nothing to do with me. But that's the downfall to doing public readings, you know, without a focus, doing it for people I don't fucking know. I never know where the information goes. I do not know if it will resonate with you or you or you or whoever. Hell, I don't even know if it's going to resonate with me half the time, because I'm not reading for myself. I'm not focused on myself. You know what I mean? So some messages that come in for me and my family members, I don't realize until I've already done the recording and I've rewatched the reading. Sometimes I'll realize it during the rewatch part when I'm trying to name a video. Other times I'll be drawn to watch a video that I've done again, because not all of them, actually, really. I'll rewatch all of them to check audio and to name the video and stuff. Sometimes I don't even watch the whole thing. I'll just kind of go close my eyes and scroll and be like, okay, what am I saying? That's what I'm gonna name it. Like, that's kind of how I name stuff sometimes. It just depends. Like, I don't really listen to all my videos all the time, so I don't always know what I'm saying because I don't always remember either. But if I'm drawn back to the same fucking video over and over and over, one that I've done, I'm like, all right, there's something significant in here. What the fuck is this about, you know? And then over time, I'll go, oh my God, that's for my sister, or that's for so-and-so, or, you know, whatever, or that's for me. It just depends. A lot of people who know me personally might assume, or they did in the past, that I'm always reading about myself. But I'm not. And the only reason I feel like people would think that is because I use personal experiences as an example. An example is just that. It doesn't mean that it's happening right this second or whatever. It's something I can compare information to. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't always mean that that's what it is. Just so you know, especially when I'm like, for example, and then I share something. It's so that you can relate it and understand in a better way, because I don't always explain things in the best way possible. You know what I mean? So I just want to make it as clear as possible when I'm delivering messages, and that's what that's about. And that's where I'm going to leave this. But yeah, that just blew my mother effing mind tonight, because I was like, what? So no, Abraham Lincoln and his wife were not here with me tonight. But in that reading, and I had red, white, and blue nails, because it was around, it was actually not last year. I think it was in 2020. I really do. It would have been July 16th, 2020, or July 17th, because I recorded it on the 16th, or I explained what happened to me on the 16th. So July 16th or 17th, 2020, that video was the Abraham Lincoln and his wife one that I discussed, and they did come to me at that time. I don't know, it came out of fucking nowhere. But this time, they weren't here. It was a reminder to look in the fucking book, basically. So that's what Spirit was doing. They were reminding me, because they gave me the same fucking sensations from before, but I wasn't seeing it at first. I'm like, I'm dying. I really felt like I was going to stroke out today. I was like, what the fuck is going on with me? I'm like, maybe this is my last day here. No, I'm totally fine. I don't feel it anymore either. But it was kind of a fucked up day. Sorry, that was a weird little sound. It was kind of like a burp. I don't know what the fuck it was. But I love you guys. Peace out.